everybody.
Hi.
Welcome. I
Hi.
see some very
Oh,
nice,
beautiful.
familiar faces. So nice to see you all.
Wow, that looks so beautiful.
I love it. Yeah.
It
Yes.
does.
This is a brand new hat from Swan&Stone.
Fabulous.
Beautiful.
I see beautiful flowers out there and all kinds of goodies. I want to thank everyone for coming to party with us today. We love, love, love seeing your faces. So if you are willing, please turn your cameras on at the bottom of the screen. You'll also want to click on the chat feature. It does work best on a computer, but when you click on that chat feature, you're going to see artists' websites pop up during the presentations today. And you can also let us know which pieces you're loving. You can send questions, and then we're going to do our best to respond to all of those things. Let us know in the chat where you all are from. Hi from Vermont, Long Island. And I'm from Troy, New York, so I'm just going to say it as I watch. Oh, Massachusetts. Okay. And no worries if you can't put on your camera. It's just if you're willing, we really, it does make us feel like we're in a place with all of you. So thank you so much for coming today. I want to talk about one technical thing before we get started. If we have any major technical difficulties and we have to end the party abruptly, we will post an updated link in red to the top of our homepage. And our homepage address is artpartycentral.org. So no worries, the party will continue on. You just need to move over to the artpartycentral.org and click on the new link. So now that all that technical stuff is out of the way, let's have a quick cheers to being all together. Cheers, everybody. So wonderful to see you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. We are going to mute everybody now, so don't be offended. It's just Zoom protocol. And success was already had. I remembered to unmute myself, so I know it's going to be a great day. I was really excited to realize that today was April Fool's Day. I don't have any jokes to pull on you today, but I love thinking about sort of the leap of faith that the fool takes on its journey. And I think creativity is very similar to that when we start percolating with ideas and going into our creative mode. To me, it's like the leap of a fool. So today is going to be an awesome time to have a party together. I am Kathleen Tesnakis, for those of you that don't know me, and my company is called Ekologic. I am super excited to be your host today. For the past 25 years, I have been an independent artist creating my line of sustainably made fashions. And if you'd like to learn more about me, then please check out my website at ekologic.com. Today, I come to you as your host and as one of the 5 co-founders of Art Party Central. It's such a joy to be at these parties. It's a chance to be in the studio with your favorite artists, meet new makers, and find out more about the ones you already love and admire. I am so lucky to have another Art Party Central co-founder today. Sam Stone from Swan&Stone Millinery is helping as co-host. You can find her as admin in the chat. And if you need anything, make sure just send her a private message and she will do her best to get things settled for you. You also want to check out her work at swanandstone.com. Enough about us. Today, we are joined by 6 super talented artists. Sue Shannon of Chi Pottery, Jan Lichtenstein from It's by Jan, Amy from Amy Kanarek Designs, Carol Heisler from Lorac Designs, Christine Evans, and Karla from Karla Gudeon Art and Design. Let me tell you how this party is going to shake out. Each of the artists will give a presentation, and then if time allows, I will ask them 1 or 2 questions that were previously submitted. At the end of the party, we will raffle off one $50 gift certificate for each artist's website. That's 6 chances to win just for hanging out with us today. You do have to be present to win, so please stick around. We will also give you a special discount code at the end of the party, which will be good for all of the artists' websites, as well as the host and the co-host website. And that is swanandstone.com for our lovely Sam and ekologic.com for myself. Okay, let's get to the fun stuff. Our first artist today is Sue Shannon of Chi Pottery. Take it away, Sue. Oh, Sue, actually, I wanted to learn a little bit about your nesting bowls. Would you mind telling us about that?
Thanks, Kathleen. I appreciate that question. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of bowls lined up behind me. Hi, everybody. I'm Sue, and this is Chi Pottery. Chi is the flow and the way, and it represents the practice that I have when I sit down to the wheel and I hand form every single one of these pieces that you see. I've been making pottery for about 30 years, so I really have a lot to say about a bowl. I know that's like a really, really long time, but speaking of these bowls, everything that I make is fully functional. And as you can kind of see, it's quite decorative. And because of the design, it's a bit sculptural. It's a bit, you can add in a lot of these colors to
Sue, you are unmuted.
decorate with, but also, yeah, I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Okay.
You just
Can
went
you hear
out
me,
for a second,
Kathleen?
so go ahead.
Yes,
Oh,
you can.
okay.
Now we can.
Oh, okay.
We just
And
lost.
I live in Vermont, and sometimes Vermont is one of those places. I don't live in a valley, but anyway, just let me know when that happens again. And in the meantime, just keep looking and studying these beautiful shapes behind you and imagine them in your own space. What I love to make, especially this time of year, because it's spring and we're just starting to, well, it's snowing here, so I'm a little out of whack. It's like snow and the daffodils. But we think about cooking. We've got our rejuvenation celebrations happening, especially this Sunday with Easter. And anyway, lots of cooking. So I make pie. They nest like this. I always have the same different colors. Red being the biggest bowl is a really easy kitchen color, as you can see. And so I always have about 6 dots. The spirals go opposite each other. And next up, these bowls double as serving bowls. They're extra thick, made with a porcelain stoneware blend of clay. And so when they are so thick, I use my electric mixers and, the wand mixers. You can do cake mixes, batter mixes, if you're blending a soup or what have you. And so here's the green bowl. Like I was making waffles the other day, like from scratch. So it's like you have to, beat the egg whites, you have the flour, the wet ingredients, dry ingredients. And that's what these bowls work best in to assist you in the kitchen. You can throw everything into the dishwasher when you're done. Can you tell? So here's my littlest wee one. And this little orange bowl is great for 1 egg and melting chocolate chips, salsa, when you're serving things up. So there's the nesting bowl set. Also in the kitchen, we like to prepare and decorate with our food, but serve it on something beautiful as well. So when you're entertaining, what do you think about the spirals that way? So this is a little party boat tray that accompanies the the tiny bowl set that is great to just lay out on the table. You can use these little bowls for sauces. When you're cooking mise en place, you can put your herbs in them. And of course you could have little pits if you're serving some nuts, olives. Nuts are not, don't go with pits, but you know what I mean. Cherries, say. Cherry season's coming. All the party boats come in different colors. Got robin egg blue here. I like to see the spirals that way. It's just really nice to have with the bowls sometimes. I have 3 different oranges on my website. I have a light orange, a middle orange, and a dark orange here. Another thing that I don't usually show, but I'm going to show you all today is I have a wonderful woodworking friend here in Vermont who puts together these cutting boards, and we put together the tiny bowl to go into the little indented ring there. And we've got maple, cherry, and walnut wood here. So this is a nice, sweet little cutting board. You can find all these details on the website. I have one more larger size cutting board. I can't really tip it, but this gives you an idea. How about that for a little view? And on the website, you can order the 2 bowls. I say, leave me a note for what color you'd like to have. But here, sometimes people do opposite colors there.
Those are really, really cool. And I love that it's a new product that you're sharing with us and a collaboration, which I think it's kind of the year of collaborating. We're learning what a benefit it is to our lives to do this. Those are beautiful, Sue. What other pieces do you have for the kitchen?
Other pieces I have for the kitchen, you see all these beautiful Target looking spots. These are hand-formed platters. Again, red. These are hand-formed. I lay the clay over a mold and dry it very, very slowly. And each one is made one at a time, and each one honestly has its own shape. But I let everybody know what kind of shape they're getting. We do pictures, everything. This is 11 inches by 14 inches. And it, you know, fish, chicken, a brisket. Okay, anybody getting hungry yet? So they come in all sorts of different colors. And then also, last thing I'll show you is a really, really large bowl. These bowls are, they take, I think I use 8 pounds of clay to make them.
Wow.
And they are wonderful to have with parties. Honestly, making granola, again, I can use my electric mixers in here. The glaze is very sturdy. The nesting set that I have in my house, for instance, is 6 or 7 years, going on 6 or 7 years. But these bowls, nice and big, about 14 inches, 12 to 14 inches wide, maybe 9 inches tall or something. So
oh my goodness,
those are a lot of the things that I make. On the website, you'll see dinnerware, you'll see all of these things, and you can explore around and check out the entertainment pieces and the kitchen pieces and dinnerware.
They're fantastic. I know because you have some sneaking down at the bottom that we can see, but hopefully we'll get to check those out at the after party. Thank you so much, Sue. Your colors are just delightful, and I love hearing your story. Our next artist is going to be Jan Lichtenstein. It's by Jan, and take it away, Jan.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm Jan from It's by Jan, and what I do is silk scarves and scarf magnets. So we do scarf magnets in many different shapes. Here, we'll start with this. So these are the newest shapes that we do, and they can really be in almost any shape, but this is something brand new that I just started doing in the last few months. And then these are the ones that I have, the shape I've been making for years. So, but we continue to get new patterns all the time. And it's all glass work that I do. And then the scarves are all silk. I use about 6 different types of silk. Jacquard, charmeuse, chiffon, organza are just a couple of examples. And my favorite though, my new favorite is, if we can see this, this is jacquard. And jacquard is a silk that has a pattern already in it. So the process that I do is called arashi shibori, And that is what makes the lines and the patterns separate than the patterns in the jacquard. So this is a poncho. This is a great summer poncho that you can just throw on and dress up an outfit. I also do these types of ponchos. I can show you here. So this is a bubble silk, so it's stretchy, but it can dress up an outfit. There's a few different ways that you can wear it. Hang on, I will show you. So you can actually wear it where it's straight across, and the little triangle is down in the side. You can wear it with the triangle in the front. A little scarf magnet on. All silks are pretty slippery, so the scarf magnets helps it stay even though it's a poncho. We also do these organza. So here's another version of what I was wearing earlier. This one can do in any color, almost any color you want. And so one of the things that we've started doing for the summer is doing some smaller asymmetrical scarves that you can just put a little scarf magnet on. Hang on, let me grab one. Put a little scarf magnet on. And it'll stay on, and then you have a little pop of color. Yeah, but you don't have to be too hot. Silk can be both warm and cool. So you have that advantage of, even if it's a little bit more, usually it is okay for any weather. That's an example. You could throw the little scarf magnet on. The one thing about the scarf magnet is if you put the back behind your shirt, your scarf will never move. There's a few other types of designs. This is one. Oops, that's not the right one. Sorry. So this is a circle scarf. So the nice thing about this is it has these extra little, the ends, because they're in this shape, the way it's sewn, they do a circle. So when you wear it, and you can wear it in many different ways, you can have the little circles hanging down underneath. Let's see if I can get that far enough so you can see it. Or you can actually wrap it around twice. And Arashi Shibori is actually a wrapping technique. So you can wrap the silk. I wrap the silk around a PVC pole, which is basically a plumbing pole. I'll show you what that is. So you actually take this string and just wrap it around, and then when it's done being wrapped, it's pulled together. You soak it in water, and then that's what makes the dyes do all the beautiful patterns. So where the string is the tightest, some dyes will go right directly in there, and other dyes will avoid it, depending on the wetness of it. Excuse me. At this, all of the magnets are made from glass, and it's called glass fusing. And so that the kiln goes about 1500 degrees. So when you, so it takes about between 14 and 1500 degrees for glass to melt. So I take different glasses and melt them together in the same piece.
So Jan, I was just wondering, can customers request their own color combinations?
Absolutely. So any scarf you see on the website, you can say, okay, but can you make this in, let's say, a blue or an orange or a pink? And I'll be happy to do it. I can also combine colors. As you can see by the last one I was wearing, there's many different colors in it. So you just kind of have to tell me the color and the kind of tone of the color that you would want.
I love that. I mean, where else can you have that done? And I guess that's why we love buying from artists, because of that. We can have our own personalized artwork. What inspired you to create your latest designs? And you show us which those are.
Sure, absolutely. So hang on 1 second. Off here. So here's one of the shapes. That's one of my latest designs. This one is in charmeuse, which is really kind of the Rolls Royce of silk. And so what inspired me really is exotic birds. I love nature and color. And I one day was looking on the internet and I saw some picture of, like, you know, on Facebook, 6 or 7 exotic birds. And I realized that those colors that those birds are, so often birds are multicolored. And so those colors, I would, you know, look at the picture of the bird and paint the scarf in those shades. And then at times, of course, I would mix birds together. So it might be something that was like the bird was like pinks and purples, and I might add some green or blue to it. So that's really my biggest inspiration.
That's incredible. I always say that about nature. I mean, what Mother Nature does to colors, we can only be as bold.
Yes.
Sometimes we really have to look to her to find that inspiration, because Mother Nature mixes it all up, which I love. And it looks like you're doing very much the same. Your colors are fabulous. Thank you so much, Jan. We're going to move on to our next artist. But again, if people have questions, you can pop them in the chat. We'll get to them at the after party. Thank you so much. Our next artist is going to be Amy Kanarek Designs. Amy, welcome.
Hello, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. I'm in serious trouble because I want everything I've seen so far. But I'm having a great time. So the colors are just wowing me. So exciting. Anyway, so yeah, I'm Amy Kanarek, and I always love a party. And I guess I just want to tell you that I have always been an artist, and it's a little hard for me to say that, but I think it's really true. My first ambition was to be an actress, and so by the time I did a lot of musical theater, and by the time I was choosing a focus, I decided to do something much more practical and be a French major. So, yeah. Anyway, I taught French for many years, and I was also, fun fact, a professional cantor for 5 years. And it's while I was working as a cantor that I started making jewelry. Actually, I'm going to rewind for 1 second and show you my first craft business was making these little dresses. My daughter and I are wearing twin dresses and skirts. And by the time she was 18 months old, I had 3 racks of them and was doing a little crafts fair. So I don't know. Anyway, so my passion has landed on jewelry. I've always loved jewelry. In the 80s, I collected sparkly baubles. And so when I started making jewelry, it was just so exciting to me. So I want to show you a few of my favorite pieces. What I work with are glass beads. Tiny glass beads are the basis of most of my pieces. So this necklace is it's a beaded chain that has glass beads woven around a center column of Swarovski crystal. It's very lightweight, but it has just enough weight to sort of have an elegant drape, which I love. And this one is one of my current passion color combinations. It's subtle, but it's kind of a dark slate blue gray with my favorite bronze on the outside, on the edge, and clear crystal in the center. Another one of my classic designs is this hexagon piece. So these are beaded hexagons, tiny glass beads that are woven around a Swarovski crystal. And each hexagon is worked on its own from the center and then attached to the previous one on the outer edge. And this is also a super lightweight piece, really easy to wear. You can wear it with a t-shirt and jeans, or you can wear it with a little black dress, and it's equally at home either way. So, you know what? I have to show you some of my stones. My new motto, it's a riff on Bob Dylan, is that everybody must get stones. It would have saved a lot of people a lot of pain and heartache if they had listened to me instead of Bob Dylan. But we won't go there. So this is one of my new favorites. This is apatite. Now, honestly, I had never heard of apatite until recently, but I'm really a big fan. It's almost like turquoise. It's this crazy combination of blue and turquoise. I'm not sure how it's coming across on the monitor. To me, it looks like a darker blue, but in life, it's more of a, maybe when I hold it back, I see more of this sort of aqua turquoisey. And I mixed in with this particular piece, Swarovski crystal around sort of a halo of Swarovski crystal, and the chain. Actually, this is the same design as that first necklace that I showed you, but you see it looks very different with dark blue crystal and bronze coming out from it. So that's a fun piece. In apatite, I don't know, I'm going to get it to stay up there. And this is another one of my favorite new pendants. This is stromatolite. Yep. It's got this crazy swirly, let's see if I can hold it still, crazy swirliness of black and white and bronze. And you can see that I made a home for it from tiny glass, weaving tiny glass seed beads. And the beads kind of cup it, and it holds really firm, but it takes a lot of focus and concentration to get it to do that.
I can see that. It's just amazing. I love these new pieces. So when did you start working with these natural stones?
So yeah, it's kind of a funny story. Swarovski crystal has been, with my little glass beads, has been the basis of my work. And Swarovski has a new CEO and who made this big announcement that they're going to stop making these crystal elements for jewelry making.
Wow.
So people like me went, what? I wasn't screaming in anybody's ear. And at first it was really scary. And then I thought, no, there are always options. So I can work with stones.
Yes.
And I had been wanting to work with stones. So it was the perfect opportunity to say, no, I'm not going to go crazy and start hoarding crystals. I will start working with stones and we'll just see what happens. And I'm in love. I'm crazy about my stones.
Yeah, it's amazing how that evolution happens. You start to panic and then you realize, no, this is just going to push me creatively further. So let's get to this. That piece is gorgeous. I'm so glad you brought that one up.
Yeah, thank you. It's a labradorite and it's got an amazing blue flash.
I was going to say, does this happen to be one of your favorite designs?
Does.
That was actually my next question.
I'm not a little girl. I like a statement piece. So, this is a statement piece. It's a really nice size piece of labradorite, and I keep I keep the setting really clean so that the stone can shine. I mean, it couldn't help but do that, but
yeah, it is just lovely. And I'm so happy that you showed us how the beadwork you do holds the back, and your work is just impeccable. Thank you so much, Amy. We are going to move to our next artist, but we will be back at the after party. So thank you so much. Our fourth artist of the evening is Carol Heisler of Lorac Designs. Welcome, Carol.
Hi everyone. How are you? Art Party ladies, thank you for having me again. This is my second time. And if you joined us the last time, I had some works in progress, and those works in progress have become quilts. In fact, the piece that's on my machine now over my shoulder is a piece that was only in partial block stages the last time we were on partying. So I am actually going to turn my camera around and take you for a tour of my studio. So this is my very large cutting and pressing table that I actually built with plywood and a couple of adjustable IKEA legs. And it's just the perfect height for me. This was a quilt that I was working on the last time we were together, and it was only in block stages, which is 2 pieces that look like this. So I took all of those 2-piece parts and I have created 44 rows of quilting. And my next, the next progress is to sew the rows together and then form them into a quilt. So I do all of that on this Bernina sewing machine over here. And when the quilts are the size they're going to be, which in this case will be 90 wide by 110 long. I'm going to turn you around slowly. I don't want to make it be stick. They get on, loaded onto this giant quilting machine. Okay, this piece, to give you an idea, that's on here is 90 by 90. So I work on a small portion of it, about 30 inches at a time. And I hand steer the machine. You can see how large the sewing machine is. And I hand steer it by these handles on the back. And in this case, I'm putting a pattern on with black thread that looks like this. And whoops, I don't have it on. Hold on 1 second. There's a red beam of light, and I hand steer it and I trace the pattern, and it quilts on the other side of the room. Over here are a couple of my larger quilts. I really specialize in bed-size quilts. This pattern is my marathoning 1 block at a time. In each one of the 6-inch squares, there are 11 pieces of fabric. And this piece, I believe, is about 108 by 108. So it is folded up. This piece over here, color tiles, it's on my website. This is a 2-inch square and a 2 by 4 rectangle. There are 2,400 squares and 2,400 rectangles. So there's 4,800 pieces in this quilt. Over here, you can see all of my threads. I only use 100% cotton fabric, batting, and thread. And now I'm going to turn you back around, and I can show you a few other pieces of work that I do. Okay. All right. I offer, aside from the bed quilts, I offer baby quilts, and I like bright colors. These are all batik fabrics. And I like bright colors because babies do not see pastels. And since they're not my children, I don't care if they're overly excited about the colors. I do occasionally do some light things. This is a piece that's, what size is this? 30 by 40 in size. Everything is washable and dryable in a regular washing machine. I suggest any detergent that you like, cold water, and a light tumble dry look. Sometimes I do more traditional baby quilts because that's sort of what people like to see. Additionally, I make table runners. This is sort of your French country blue and yellow. Each piece is individually sized, usually based on the fabrics that I have available. This piece is 20 by 40. This piece is 20 by 60. Now, one of the other things I do with leftover fabrics from large quilts, very popular right now are what they call bed runners, which is sort of like a scarf at the end of the bed. So this piece is more than 100, and this is folded 3 times. So it's more than 120 inches in length when you get it completely unfolded. Again, all batiks.
Wow, Carol, you must have the patience of a saint. I mean, how many pieces were in that big quilt? I mean, how do you even organize that?
Well, that's funny you should say that. I was sewing earlier. Let me show you this. I use these little tags. So in this particular one that I'm working on here, there's going to be 44 rows. So each row is numbered, because if in this case, in this quilt, it's going to be a rainbow color on the diagonal. If I get 1 row out of place, the entire pattern would be messed up.
Yeah.
So I have little schemes I use.
That's incredible. So which comes first, the fabric or the design?
Oh, that's a great question. You know, it depends. I have a lot of designs in my head, but sometimes I'll go to the store, the fabric store, and I'll just see fabric that I love. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy, you know, X amount of yards of this fabric. And then I bring it home and I just sit it here for a while and I look at it. And then it comes to me if I cut it this way, if I do these pieces, and then it's just really a matter of the math. Lots of math. The one other thing I want to show you real quick is a t-shirt quilt. So I do a lot of memory and t-shirt quilts out of, you know, this is all just Philadelphia teams. But the idea behind this is you bring me your t-shirts and I turn them into a quilt. So empty your drawers. You've been to every Hard Rock in America, or you've been to every Jimmy Buffett concert. Whatever your passion is, I can turn those items into a quilt for you.
That is amazing. Thank you so much, Carol. And I'm really glad we got to those t-shirt quilts, because you know we all have drawers and drawers of
know,
those.
right?
And you know, most of them are 100% cotton. So I mean, your artistry in that is incredible. Well, thank you so much. We're going to move to our next artist, and that is Christine Evans. Welcome, Christine.
Hi, everybody. Hi, thank you so much. I'm Christine. Thank you so much for being with us here at Art Party on April Fool's Day. I hope you're all having a great day. I am a ceramic figure sculptor from the Southwest. I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I love to make ceramic figures, you know, figures out of clay. I focus on the feminine form in my work because it's my desire to celebrate the beauty and the inherent power of the feminine spirit with my pieces. Another thing that's really important in my work is to add some element from nature to my figure sculpture. Like here we have some leaves here. I love to really show how we are all connected to nature and how the earth as a planet is part of our origin story. This piece here is called Age of Wisdom. And I created this piece when I was in a 6-month artist residency in North Carolina. Being from the Southwest with our real arid climate and the way our landscape is, it was really sort of not a shock necessarily, because I've lived in the Eastern states, but it was very inspiring to be surrounded by all this lush greenness in North Carolina. And so, excuse me, while I was there, I was sitting in my studio looking out at these big, tall trees like the magnolia tree and the oak tree. And I brought the oak tree directly into this piece in the leaves that encircle her shoulders and that form a crown on her hair. And you can see the little acorns here clustered at the back. So I would actually bring leaves and acorns into the studio and use them as a model for this piece. Age of Wisdom, really, it's an idea of how oak trees have been on this planet a really long time, and how we are, you know, there's a collective wisdom in humanity as well that we can tap into. So that's what this piece speaks to. Also, I was very inspired by, and have been inspired by, classical Greek sculpture. And you can see a little bit of that classicism in her face here. So it's about age, it's about wisdom, and it's about the power of that deep memory that goes into the earth and also as into our societies through our art. So what I'd like to do now is get a little close up with the camera of the piece so you can see her a little better. Okay, so I want to share with you the texture on the skin, the surface of the skin. You can see a lot of different little colors, like little dots that make up the overall tone of her face. And you can also see that in her hair here. Lots of browns, and there's some yellows, and then in the leaves too, you can really see a whole bunch of different greens. I like to play with these different values and these different colors to create an overall look to the piece and to give it a really interesting variety or variegated surface. And I wanted to share with you also at the base here, I have a beautiful handmade wooden base that's made out of walnut wood that my husband created. He is a jeweler who also presents here on Art Party with his wooden jewelry. And then let's get one more little close up of that face. She kind of has this far away, almost distant look to her gaze. So what I'm going to do now is take you down to the other end of the table. I have some more pieces to share with you down there. I have been working on a new series of masks for the last several weeks. And I really love playing with the different sizes of the faces. I'm using the term mask kind of lightly because what these really are three-dimensional portraits of allegorical figures or allegorical ideas. So we have a water nymph as an allegory. We have the Lady of the Lake. We have some, flowers that I brought in. Even this is my inspiration, this orchid plant here. I have orchids in the background of the headdress on this piece here. I have different sizes. You can see that this little face here is about the size of my palm. So it was fun to work with diminutive scale and to see how that changed the feeling when you went to a larger scale. What these pieces are meant to be is tabletop vignettes. You're supposed to, you should add to your collections of treasures. So I'm going to just grab something real quick to show you. I have this fossilized shell, and I thought about how beautiful something like this mask would look beautiful next to a natural element that you might collect and display. I have this vase that a friend made me. And again, that looks gorgeous next to the small, but also, next to a larger piece. So these are pieces that are meant to be displayed with flowers and your own treasures for your home, for the tabletop. And so I'm just going to go ahead and get the camera real quick again and get a little closer look of these because it's kind of hard to tell unless you're right up close about you can see their expressions better. There's one. And I just love the expression on this tiny face right here. Very peaceful, very dreamy. And I wanted to show you the stand. This is the acrylic stand with a metal post that this piece comes with. And here's another one here. And you can really see the sculptural quality of the headdress from this angle as well. And also, I didn't mention this, but I have gold leaf that I've attached to the outside of the headdress on this piece here. This one is my most recent piece. I just finished her this week. So do you have any questions for me?
I sure do, but I just have to say, we got the sneak peek of this work at Art Party Central a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure how long ago, but it's so incredible to see the evolution and the colors and textures. This just, you're stunning me today, Christine. So, wow. I just have to say that these pieces are just fabulous. So can any of these masks hang on the wall?
Yes, they can. Not every mask that I make is ready to mount on the wall, but most of them are. So I'm going to just show you the back so that you can see how it's constructed. You can see the hole here that goes onto the threads under the metal pipe. And then you can also see the keyhole right here that you would place over a nail or a screw on your wall, which I'll demonstrate here. can find it. There we go. So you just place it over the screw and then bring it down, and it hangs beautifully on walls. These can also be displayed outdoors, in your garden spaces or on your patio. And although it is a good idea to bring them in if you have very severe winters, because the ceramic can only handle so much freeze and thaw action. So yeah, they do hang. And I love that versatility. They can be displayed vertically or horizontally, so to speak.
Yeah, and I have to say,
yeah.
you know, I was really shocked when you pulled it off of this stand because I wasn't thinking it was going to be one of those. I love that all of those pieces do that. That's really
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, they're all movable. Yeah.
Yes. Now, do you build your sculptures out of solid clay? How are they constructed?
Yes, no, I don't actually build them out of solid clay, although some sculptors do, but you work against gravity. Gravity is always pulling that clay down and making it very difficult. So I want to show you actually how I construct real quick my pieces. So we're going to move back down to this side. And I'm going to show you this armature, which is like a skeletal structure that I use with the clay. So I have a base, which is a board. And then I have a metal pipe, which is screwed into the base. And then I cover it with newspaper. And in fact, this little ball of newspaper up here is for the head. So if you look at the sculpture here, you can see I wrap clay around there. I wrap it to form the shoulders. And then I cut everything open and I hollow it out to about 3/8 to a 1/2 inch thick and piece it all back together again to get a hollow and much more lighter weight sculpture. That's how it's all built.
Wow. Thank you so much, Christine. We really got a great in-depth view tonight. Thank you. I just am inspired. Thank you. We will get back to you at the after party. Now we're going to move on to our 6th and final artist of the evening, and that is Karla Gudeon, Art and Design. Take it away, Karla.
Hey there, how are you? I'm so happy to be here today presenting again at Art Party. I'm here from my new wall display, wall color, so in a new position, and I am standing up on a stool, so let's just hope I don't go down. That's not usual. Different little take today. So I was posting on social media about my hand watercolored etchings and some of the details I put into them. And I posted a picture of the look that I was kind of making fun of myself for, which is what I wear when I'm creating my work, which is this, you know, magnifying doohickey, because one pair of really strong readers is not enough. And I was looking again at the tools that I use to create my etchings, which are done in metal. So here is one of the pens, and this right here, I'm not sure we can see it. There's an industrial diamond at the tip there, and that allows carving into metal to create a bird to hold ink. And I was thinking at first making fun of the glasses and thinking about aging. And then I was thinking, you know what? This is my story. At the same time as, yes, I might need stronger things for my eyes. The detail work that I'm now able to do, that I've developed skills and talents, that wouldn't have come without the age. And I'm trying to embrace this whole age thing and the wearing of the glasses to create my work and the needing of these ultra fine tools, but also embracing that my background and my years are what allow me to do everything I do. And so I started thinking and posting, particularly from this collection that I call vintage. And I've called the collection vintage without making the metaphor to myself or the women that I'm friends with. But then I started thinking about how vintage doesn't have a bad connotation. People embrace it because there is value in that, and then value in taking something from old and making it new again. So this is from my vintage series. And I think what made me call it vintage in the first place is how there's so many details in the engraving in each piece. It reminded me of Currier and Ives engravings from the 1800s. And all the things that are the details. So I want to kind of focus on that collection today because it was making me very happy to both think about what I'm able to bring out to you as artwork that you can purchase, but also what I am now able to do with age and time and experience. So this is from my vintage Tree of Life, and I sell it 2 ways. I sell it both in black and white, which is just a print from that plate I just showed you. And I think it's beautiful that way. I'm in love with that new matte color, which is called Luna. And then I also have it hand painted. So this is the watercolor on top of the etching. And what's nice is I use the paint a little washier than I do with that tree that's behind me where I'm painting solid over lines. This, I'm consciously doing the paint in a washier fashion so that you can see all those details in the hundreds of little leaves that are engraved and printed first. Also in that collection was, when I was thinking vintage, I was thinking of a bouquet of flowers or something like the florals my grandma would have had, but a way of modernizing it and making it really beautiful for today. So I have this bouquet, Love Grows Here, and I made the plate with the English for Love Grows Here, and I also made the plate with the Hebrew for Love Grows Here, which is Ahava Gedola Kan. And what's nice is the flower bouquet is the same, but I bet you see color differences because all my work in a sense is one of a kind because they're all hand painted. And another duo that comes in both Hebrew and English from the vintage series that has those details in the plate and the trees and stuff is my Repairing the World. So the Hebrew one says Tikkun Olam, which Al Gore actually once used in a speech about the environment. And the the English one says Repairing the World. And for this, my concept was that the whole world is screwed up. So I wanted to have elements of water, land, and sky, because I think the whole thing needs repairing. And other little integrations and themes that I put in here are the dove of peace, a lion and the lamb, with the concept of peace coming with lions and lambs lying together, and also the pomegranates, which symbol the good deeds you do in your life, with each seed representing one of those good deeds. So that's also from this vintage series, because I want you to be able to see some of the details that I put into these pieces, into the etching in the first place that comes through under the watercolor. And let's see, do I have a couple more from that series? Yep, I have two more that I'll show you. I have another version of Love Grows Here when I was in more of that like pop of color, big wow factor flowers. So I have this one in the vintage collection. And then I have this beautiful pomegranate topiary, like this giant thing growing out of this little pretty pot, and all those etched lines in the flowers and the pomegranates. And again, with the same symbolism behind the pomegranates, that every seed represents a good deed you do in your life. And I tried to pick frames that didn't take away from the artwork, but still gave you that vintage vibe, almost antique, but not too much so that it works in a modern, clean, minimalist house or something more ornate. But I give the work a lot of space between the artwork and the frame to give it that breathing room before I put a frame on it.
So Karla, I just love the pieces that you've shown. I mean, Repairing the World, Love
But you were
Grows
going to say
Here.
you love that I was aging.
Well, that's
age,
you
not to
and
age,
both
right?
on. It's inevitable.
Not aging would suck.
Yeah, I just glossed right over that. But I did want to know, like, what you have for Mother's Day.
I do. I have some beauties. First of all, I have, and then I'll show you guys something fun. In the little ones collection, I have my mama bird, baby bird, and we're all our mama's baby birds, no matter how old we are. And I have You're Never Alone, which I think is a really sweet mother-daughter piece.
Yes.
Every mom who deserves a little R&R would not mind having a bathing beauty to hang in her home, complete with the chandelier we all have in our bathrooms, I know. And then one of my favorites is my Here's to Strong Women, because it's multi-generational and multiracial. And I think that celebrates all women, but is also a way of letting your mom know, that you think she has super strength. 1 in a million, because that's a great message for a mom. And finally, I have this piece I designed a while ago called Mother and Child, and I thought I would paint it. And this is just a funny Karla thing and like a little artist oops. So I grab one of my prints from my print files and I start painting her from the top, and I'm doing the hair, which again is one of my favorite things to detail and paint in this beautiful piece. And then I look, and I had already started one, but not from the same spot. So now I have the background painted in one ready to go. And there, so somebody can order this one as a blonde, and then I won't feel like I made a mistake in just painting the background. And somebody could tell me they want this one with yellow flowers, and I won't feel like I mistaked waiting on the background on this one.
See, that's what the muse does, right?
Here is what one of the finished, this is a version with Hebrew of that Mother and Child.
Oh.
And finally, another great Mother's Day piece is, there's a Hebrew phrase, Eshet Chayil, which means a woman of valor. So a woman of strength and courage. And this is, there we go.
And that very much reflects what I know of you, Karla. So,
Oh my goodness, Miss Kathleen.
that is a great way to end that presentation. I love all of the sentiments in your work, and my goodness, you have lots of things for all of us. Thank you so much, Karla.
It
And
would be far worse if you sent me half a shirt and you forgot the top part than my painting.
that's true. It might be done in the future. We never know. But I really want to thank all of the artists for sharing their stories today and showing your incredible work. We also want to thank all of you that have come to join us at Art Party. Before we draw the raffle prizes, we want to let you know how much we appreciate you. You all are the reason we make our work in the first place. And by showing up today and being a part of these parties, it brings us inspiration, hope, and it fills up our creative pools. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We love having this platform to connect with you, and we cannot wait to see it grow with your help. So your follows, your likes, and shares on our social media mean the world to us. Please keep it up. We are out there for you, and we love hearing and connecting with you. Don't forget to tell all of your friends how much you had today and bring them along for the next time. Right? Okay. So now let's celebrate, and we are going to choose the winners of the $50 gift certificate. We're going to choose one winner for each website randomly from everyone that is still here on the party. And we encourage you to unmute yourself so we can all cheer with the winners together. So Sam, have you got a winners list for me?
I do. I sent it to you in 2 different ways, but I can send it to you.
Well, no, that's okay. I think I'm seeing it right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get to that. You can do the drum roll, Sam. The drum roll. Dun, 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 dun. For Chi Pottery, the winner is Diane Friedman.
Yay!
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Diane.
I'm so excited.
Yes, and please know to put your email in the chat. Sometimes your names are different on Zoom, so please go ahead and send your emails to Sam. So now that you know to do that, I'm going to continue on with the next winner. Our next winner for It's by Jan is Jan Johnson. Congratulations.
Hooray!
Woohoo! All right, for Amy Kanarek Designs, the winner is Judy Kentner.
Oh, Judy!
Congratulations, Judy. All right. Now for Carol Heisler, Laura Rabb, you are the winner.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yay!
All right, our next winner is for Christine Evans, and that is Moline Levine. Congratulations, Moline. And for Karla Gudeon, you're welcome. And for Karla Gudeon Design, the winner is Sarah Powell.
Yay! Can't wait to hear from you. Congrats.
Congratulations to all the winners. And because we want everyone to leave feeling like they've won something, you all will receive a coupon code for 10% off all Six Makers websites, as well as our co-host Sam at swanandstone.com and my website at ekologic.com. The coupon will be good from today through April 7th, so head on over to the websites and do some retail therapy and find a great gift if you need one. The coupon code for today's party, and this will be put in the chat, is Art Party 41. Art Party 41. We will send a follow-up email to everyone with this code and links to the website of all of the artists today. So look out in your email for that. We are going to start wrapping it up, but we will have an after party. We have one more day of parties this week, and that is on Saturday. Saturday's artists, we will be featuring Merzata, Bottega Flaviani, Ariel Brackett Jewelry, Megan Patrice Riley, Ekologic, and Christine Evans. Please RSV to these events at artpartycentral.org. We are also doing something really fun and special. We are excited to be offering our workshop on presenting yourself virtually on April 9th at 5:15 Eastern Standard Time. This is open to everyone. It will focus on looking your virtual best and learning to be confident and comfortable on video. We will send everyone an email with the details and the Eventbrite sign up. The cost is $25 for the hour-long workshop, and it's a lot of fun. So come join us. I also want to give a shout out to Sam Stone. I want to say thank you for helping the party go smoothly today. You may not have seen Sam, but she was in the background making sure that everything was running perfectly. And again, you can see her work at swanandstone.com. I think I can say for all of the artists, you guys rock. We miss seeing you in person, but this has been a great way to stay connected. We know you all are busy. So for those that would like to stay and hang out and ask questions, we invite you to unmute yourself and chat with us. And with that said, we are going to stay on for just an extra few minutes to answer those questions. For those of you that have to leave tonight, thank you so much for coming. We hope to see you again. Let's open after party. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh goodness, Sam, have you got some questions for us?
I do have a couple. And so Amy, we can actually start with you because Paula, I had a question for you and then Paula just popped another one into the chat. So one question is, and they're both about these larger stones that you're working with now. So on your website, for the most part, those seem to be one of a kind. So if somebody sees something that they like, do you work with them? I imagine they go up and they come down because you put them on your website and then they're sold. And then also Paula wanted to know a little more about your stones as well. Do you have any stones that are not yet set that you could show us?
I do, actually. I meant to show them when it was my time, and I just, I'm glad to be able to. Here's a piece of apatite. And so the idea is I have a whole stock of stones that are not yet set, that I would be glad to make an appointment with any of you and show you the stones and design a piece just for you. I'm very excited about that. So this is a round labradorite. There's another Pietersite that I love. I have a lot of stones. So yeah, it would be my pleasure.
Wonderful. And so another question just came in. Can you show us sort of quickly a couple of your bracelets? Because we didn't get to see any.
Sure. Oh my gosh.
So we must.
I think the most expedient thing to do would be show you some of these racks. There are a gazillion bracelets. So the same thing happens there. You can look at my bracelets online, but I can also make an appointment and get a sense of what you like and show you possibilities. I'm happy to do custom as well. So these are my deco inspired beaded bracelets. This rack has several different bracelets. These have freshwater pearls. These are check beads. This is the same hexagon. This is a hexagon bracelet. So lots of possibilities. And then I have heavy cuffs too. So this is one of my power cuffs.
Mm-hmm.
There.
Wow.
But I'm happy to, everything can be customized. The only thing about this that can't be customized is this piece itself, but I can always do another labradorite and customize around it.
Oh,
I
that's,
want to let somebody else have a turn, but thank you.
oh, that's so great. Thanks, Amy. So Kathleen, I had one other. Shall I just go ahead, or did?
Yes, go on ahead. And I have things too. So take it away, Sam, and I'll follow up.
I just have one other, and that was for Karla. So Karla, I know you do, and you sort of talked about, obviously, once you paint, each piece really is one of a kind because we're talking about different colors. And I imagine that has to do with, also sometimes maybe choice by the customer, sometimes it's choice by you. And yeah, so my question is about sort of personalization. And I know I have, and I know you have, or that I have many of your pieces, and you've worked with me. I'm trying to show my iris in the background. And you had asked me what color iris I wanted. But in addition to color, you've also customized for me names of people. My partner has 3 little girls, and so we have a piece where their names are under each of the little girls. Can you talk a little bit about that? I imagine it's not just for your BFF that you do that.
No, not just for my BFF, but I don't want you to think you're not special. You're special. Right. There you go. No, I actually love customizing. It's one of the things that makes me feel more connected to my work and more connected to my customer base. A good example is this piece behind me with three women. It's different than the one Sam's talking about, which is a little one. But when I originally conceived it, I conceived it like I'm showing it here as, again, this whole philosophy of one world of women that women always find they have more in common globally, I think, no matter where we are. And I have the 3 different skin tones, the 3 different hair color, and that's how I conceived it. However, I do acknowledge that a lot of the sales of this piece from the limited edition of the etching have been to families that have 3 daughters or 3 generations. So it's my joy to make it, 3 Caucasian women, 2 blondes, and a redhead, if that's what's significant in a family, and also to put names. And I'm actually taking that little one that I showed you that is You're Never Alone. I can actually show you my whole new wall of little ones, which I'm really excited. Look at that all together. So the little one actually comes with 3 girls. And just from one of the art parties, somebody called me and said, do you have a 4-girl version? And I don't, but I'm making one. So there we go. So I love doing personalizations like that. And I love doing custom and making things larger or smaller as needed as well.
Wonderful. That's great. Kathleen, I'll hand it over to you. That was all I had written down.
Yes. Well, then I would like to really go back to Christine Evans. And Christine, can you tell us a little bit more about the tiles on the wall?
I can, absolutely. In fact, I'll bring the camera up close to it so we can see it better. Okay, so this is a bas-relief tile. I took a 2-dimensional image and get this camera lined up here. I turned it into a slight raised relief tile. So I'll just go to the side here so you can see it better. I was teaching classes at the University of New Mexico's continuing education a while back, and I taught people how to take a flat image, put it on a slab of clay, and then create raised relief in the clay to give it a little structure and form. So this is a really good example of that technique. And it's just a beautiful garden scene. I always loved gardens. I love garden design. I have several tiles in this style that I've worked on. And it's a variety of stains and glazes and kind of a tropical scene. There's the waterfall right there. And that's about it, yeah.
I think that's what I find so fascinating about your work. I mean, obviously you're working in clay, but the painterly attributes that you bring to it, and I particularly loved seeing the acorns on your beautiful bust that you showed us today with the oak leaves. It's the colors and textures that you do are just, they have me fascinated.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's clay is an amazing, amazing medium. There's so much you can do with it. It's just incredible. So I have a lot of fun trying out different styles and different subject matter.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. It just really shows in your work. It's always something new. Oh, thank you. And for our next artist, I would like to have a question for Sue of Chi Pottery. Sue, what color platters do you have? Is it just the 5 there, or do you have a favorite? Even that white one is beautiful.
I know the white one. Oh, the white one over here with the orange. So I do have the platters that are on my website are red, tangerine, yellow. Well, here's the red, tangerine, the yellow up top, the green behind me, and I do have a blue. And then here, for instance, is also a Bermuda green. And I'll show you the ones that I don't have on the website, but sometimes people really love completely organic, completely, I call them wonky, but sometimes they are considered beloved, and some people just really gravitate towards ones. Do you see that angle right up in here where it's like a high side? I kind of feel like it's a cowboy hat. Yeah. Like it's bowed so much, but I always put these things out too, in person at shows, and people will find them. But when the ones that are on my website, I promise, they're really top notch. Okay. So, but there are sometimes these fun wonky ones that, as long as they hold liquid, and sorry, it's healthy. As long as it holds liquid, it'll be fine.
Yeah. If somebody wants something like
durable,
that,
right? What's that?
Yeah, so if somebody wants some of those more imperfect pieces or even special pieces, they should contact you. I love the fact that we're seeing some of your canisters now, because I don't think that we saw that during the party. Do you want to show us one of those?
Sure, I'll show you. Here is a, these canisters are about 6.5 inches tall or so, and each lid is hand formed. It's literally made, thrown upside down on the wheel, and then I turn it over. And so each knob is a little bit different. They all have their own character. And of course, each line gets hand painted one at a time. So that has its own character, each dot, each spiral. And so I think even though the pieces are kind of simple, because everything is done one movement at a time, that life somehow seems to come through and have its own voice on the counter. So it's just a canister, but it has a lot to say. And it holds, it's glazed on the inside. It holds, if you were gonna put flour in it, say, you could probably put 2.5, 3 pounds of flour in there. So these are the canisters, and the ones that I have are on the website. And if I'm ever out of a color, it's so easy. People just naturally go to the contact page and say, hey, Sue, I didn't see this on the website. And I say, great, let's make one for you. And in about 3 to 4 weeks, I can have one on the way. So
I love how our websites are just little portals, portals to us. And now that we can do virtual, it's even, more interesting, because you can actually dial into your favorite artists, which, I'm loving that. I think it's really
I am loving that. And also, Kathleen, I took a look at your new website. I got your email, and it is stunning. Your new website is absolutely gorgeous. I loved it. I enjoyed just going all around and looking at all the wonderful new things you have on there.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Sue. You know, you get nervous about these things, but now I'm like, yes, we did it.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, and it feels so good when it's done.
That's right. It really does. Well, thank you so much. I also wanted to talk to Carol about these beautiful quilts that she has. And, you know, Carol, where do you find your fabrics, and what is your journey of hunting and pecking?
Yeah, really. As you know, as a fiber person, there's probably not a fabric store I've not been to or haven't loved the fabric. It's been a little rough over the pandemic because one of the stores that I really like to go to, which is about an hour and a half from my home, they weren't doing any COVID protocols.
Oh.
So after I went one time, I have not gone back. Thank goodness I have a large stash behind the quilts that are on display. There's bins and bins of fabric. And if I have to, I will order online, but I have to know exactly the manufacturer that I'm buying from and have already purchased some of it to know that it's the quality that I want. So
yeah, and I suspect the color is a big deal too, because your things are so vibrant and very complex with their use of color.
Yeah, and if you're trying to order online, you know, you're never getting exactly the color that you think you're getting because your monitor is whatever color it is. So I do enjoy shopping in person. So I'm very much looking forward to lots of vaccines so I can get back out there and feel the fabric and see the fabric in person and replenish some stash.
That's great. Well, I'm so glad that we got to the t-shirt quilts and things like that of your work. And I just enjoy seeing these pieces. And I know from like my grandmother's quilt, I actually was fortunate to have one passed down in my family. And the thing that was shocking to me was how incredibly comfortable the 100% cotton is. And I think sometimes in these platforms, we lose that, but I know it's the same thing with yours, that crisp, cool, beautiful hand.
Right. If you've never had a handmade quilt that's all cotton, I mean, you can't buy that in the store. I mean, it's just everything has polyester in it when you buy it in a store. It is a completely different experience to sleep under something that's all cotton, to wash it and have it get softer and softer over time. I often tell people, you know, buy one of my quilts and it's going to change your sleeping life forever. So
yeah, it is so true.
Yeah.
I had to take it off my bed again because I was using it up. But I mean, it was already, I don't know, 75, 80 years.
Wonderful. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing that beautiful work. And the next artist I'd like to see is, of course, Jan Lichtenstein, and see her beautiful silks. Yes, please, Jan, do you have a favorite design that you love wearing?
Actually, this is one of my newest favorites. And what I love about it is the ruffling it does. And then it allows you, hang on 1 second, to wear it in a few different ways. So the long scarf, it's really a shawl. But the nice thing is, if you put a little fold in it, you still have these nice little ruffles that go across. And these can be done in any colors.
It's a transparent fabric. Is it like a chiffon?
It's actually, and organza is a little bit stiffer hand than chiffon. Chiffon is very, very soft. As an example, this is chiffon.
Lovely, yes.
And satin. And but this is what's nice about organza is it gives you the ability to have a little more structure to it. So it'll do things like this, where it'll have a nice collar that stay.
Yes,
that
the drape kind of floats. I can see it has more dimension.
Yeah. And then this particular one always starts out as a rectangle, a very long rectangle, and I cut off one of the corners, a very large piece of the corner, to give it this kind of a floaty atmosphere.
That's lovely. And I was wondering about the magnets that you do. Like, are there other uses for those?
Yeah, actually, people often wear them. Men wear them as lapel pins. I have quite a few male customers. Women can wear them also just as decoration. So you can wear it just on your shirt. You know, a lot of people do it like right here.
Mm.
That's not really straight as I look at it. Or you could wear it, you know, as a brooch. I wear them all the time on coats and shirts. And I have to say that they're extremely strong, and the connection to the glass is extremely strong because I have sent them through the washer and dryer many, many, many times. And have never had a problem. The backs never come off. Nothing happens, even though they're glass, never crack. So it's a very strong construction as well as beautiful.
Oh,
So you
thank you so much. And I don't know if any of the people that have participated today have any questions, but if you do, please feel free to shout out to one of the artists. And if you don't have any, then we will start to say goodbye. But please take this opportunity. If there's a piece you want to show off, or you have a favorite item of an artist. I think we're all feeling shy today, huh?
Yeah, I'm not. Hi.
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 Hi. Nice to see everybody. And I would like to say my big hello to Jen. Jen, hi. Jen shared with me her magnets when I represent my scarves. And last show was in Baltimore exactly before COVID. And today, Jen, I got email from my customers about my scarf, but they asked about your magnets, and I sent them your website, and they really, really, really like your magnets. And thank you for your work. Thank you for your beautiful, beautiful work.
Thank you so much.
That's it.
Really appreciate it and miss you.
Yeah, I miss you all. Thank you. To keep going this, and I see you soon.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, Lou.